I'm Saskia from rawfreedom.co.uk, and today I'm going to be demonstrating a really good savoury recipe that's actually, you can make it raw for yourself or you can cook it for your family as well, or you can make it raw and add in cooked components. So it's really delicious with brown rice, or you can add in tofu or chicken for other members of your family who prefer to eat some cooked food as well. I'm just going to be demonstrating the plain and yummy raw version. So first of all, we're going to make our sauce. So we've got 4 tomatoes, and we're going to put one of those aside to actually chop up and put into our ratatouille, and the other 3 are going in the blender. And then we've got 1 spring onion, and we're going to use the pale part of the spring onion, just the pale part, because that is the most subtle part of the flavour. This is very oniony. You can save this and put it in salads and other sauces and things as well if you are good with raw onion. We've got 1 date which we're going to add in. Make sure you take the stone out. And we're going to put in 2.5 centimetres of ginger. So when you're putting in ginger, it's totally up to you whether you take the peel off or not. I generally don't take the peel off, but we'll kind of chop off any knobbly bits or any bits that are looking a bit brown. In our ginger goes. And then we're going to put in a tablespoon of oregano. And this is just dried oregano. You can put in fresh oregano if you've got fresh oregano in your garden. It's delicious. You might want to put in 2 tablespoons if you're using fresh oregano, because it's not as strong as the dried stuff. And then we're going to put in a tablespoon of lemon juice. And what you've got going on here is the lemon juice and the date kind of really bring out the sweet and sour flavour of the tomato. So, tablespoon of lemon juice into your blender, and then a teaspoon of mineral salt. I've got pink Himalayan salt here, and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And while that's blending, we're going to start chopping our veg into bite-sized pieces. I like to do them about 1 centimetre, roughly 1 centimetre squared. And then we've got 4 mushrooms, and I generally put the stalks in as well. Again, I'll just sort of chop any brown bits off and chop those into bite-sized pieces about 1 centimetre squared. What I love is just how quick these recipes are. So much quicker than any cooked meal that you'll make generally. They're just super fresh, super quick to make, and taste really delicious. It's one of the things that I get when I'm running the Vitality Detox, which is my 6-week online detox, is that people, you know, a lot of people come to it thinking, yeah, I really need to have a good detox, really need to kind of eat healthily, get rid of my bad eating habits, and then they're really shocked and surprised at how delicious the food is. And I love that. I love that people have such kind of commitment to themselves that they're going to do it even though they think that the food is going to be, you know, they're going to be depriving themselves. And then the bonus is that they get rewarded with this delicious food. So we're next going to put in half a courgette. Again, chop roughly into centimetre cubes. We're going to put in just 1/4 of an aubergine. Now, some aubergines are really quite bitter, and you'll want to salt them if they're really bitter. So what you do if you want to salt them is you chop them into your cubes, and then you sprinkle a generous amount of salt on them and leave them for half an hour, and the bitter juice will drain away. These ones actually aren't bitter, so they don't need salting. And again, chopping into centimetre cubes. And then you've got a red pepper, and you're going to put half a red pepper in. Take the seeds out, because the seeds again are bitter. They don't taste very nice. And chopping into centimetre cubes again. And then you're just going to scoop up all your veg and put it into a mixing bowl. This is enough for really 2 portions. If you're really hungry, you might be able to eat this on your own, but I would generally say this is enough for 2, or if you're eating it with brown rice or other cooked components as well, it's probably enough for 4. And then to that, we're going to add our sauce. You can use a spatula to get all the yumminess out of the blender. And then give it a good stir. I like to marinate this for at least half an hour. It's also one of those things that you can make the night before to take to work with you for lunch, or you can make it earlier in the day for your dinner and actually marinate it for longer. It works really well, and quite often the flavours are even better the next day, on the second day, and the vegetables actually wilt and become more kind of cooked in texture. So once you've given all that a good mix, we're going to add in 10 olives, and the olives I tend to cut them in half, just kind of makes them go a bit further. And it's kind of nicer than just one big mouthful of olive. You might even want to cut them smaller, it's totally up to you, whatever you feel is the right size for your olives. Give it a final stir. To distribute those olives. And then you're ready to serve. And as I said, this is the raw version, so we're just going to have it plain as it is. Really scrummy. Again, you can have it for lunch, for supper, take it to work with you. It's incredibly versatile, and it'll last for up to 2 days in the fridge. I'd keep it in a Tupperware. Now I'm going to taste it. Yum. Delicious.